What's up guys, Kyle here again, and today we're checking out a free plugin, the Blacksun Amp Sim from Audio Assault. Let's do it! Alright guys, hope you're doing great today. This is going to be a quick little video for me. Audio Assault has released a new free plugin, and I really just kind of wanted to spread awareness about it because free stuff is cool, and companies that are willing to give away free stuff to everybody are really cool in my book too. Real quick, if this is your first time here at my channel, what I do is I take high gain amps, amp sims, overdrive speakers, pickups. I record them with a simple SM57, and I give you guys the unprocessed audio on your end, or in this case, I give you the unprocessed signal from the plugin. So if you're into E-standard thrash riffs, drop C hardcore riffs, and grown men who invest in RGB lights for their bedroom, you're in the right place. Consider hitting the like button on the way out and subscribing to the channel so you don't miss anything else. Thanks! Alright guys, so this is gonna be a short, sweet video for me. I am just gonna jump right into this plugin, show you what kind of tones we can get right off the bat. Here's what you're greeted with when you start up the sim. You've got the Blacksun amplifier here that has a high and low channel. This render, or the graphics of this actually look great. This is nice looking, and it scales well too, because when you do this, it scales no matter how big you blow it up. So that's cool, and it's very high resolution. That's nice as well. So over here you've got a tuner, you've got your stomp boxes, so we've got like a decimator style noise gate, a booster, and a tube screamer. So let's go over into the amp. Again, we have all your EQ controls here. Everything is pretty standard. They also give you a bunch of free impulse responses under the Blacksun 412. You've got some 57s, 121s, 160, 421, pretty much your standard offerings as far as like microphones go. So that's nice. You get a few things to play around with, and then I like their IR layout on a lot of their plugins because you get a left and a right. You can blend them between A and B. You've got high pass, low pass, filters, pans, and you've even got distance and angle controls to kind of simulate the distance away from the speaker and the angle of the mic pointing at the speaker. So that's a nice feature as well. I don't remember seeing that in the last plugin that I checked out. And then over here, you've got an effects rack where you've got a graphic EQ, chorus, delay, reverb. So pretty much your standard effects, and I believe that they are going to be post preamp in the way that this is designed. So we'll mess with those real quick for just a second. But yeah, let's go right into it. Let's see what we got tone-wise. I've got my Gallagher Espada here with the stock pickups, and we are just going to see how it sounds. All right, so right off the bat, it honestly doesn't sound too bad. You know me, I like to boost everything. Let's kick on that tube screamer. Okay, so we're already getting some kind of cooler tones there. I'm gonna kick that off just for now so you guys don't yell at me for having a boost on the entire time. So on most Blacksun on most Blackstar amps, you have a mode, or I forget what they're actually called on the amp. But anyways, it kind of dials it from more of a like Marshall style EQ over to more of a Mesa style EQ. Now, when I actually demoed one of the Blackstar HT Club amps, everybody told me I had it backwards, that dialed over here to the right was supposed to be Marshall and dialed to the left is supposed to be Mesa. It doesn't sound like that to me at all, so I'm gonna stick with my description of dialing over to your left is more of a Marshall type tone. It's gonna be more bright, mid-forward, and a little cut off on the highs and lows, whereas you dial it to the right, it's going to be more Mesa, where it's a little scoopier in the mids, and then it's got more treble and bass frequencies. So we're going to dial that all the way to the left. All right, and then we're gonna dial it to the middle. And then we're gonna dial it mostly to the right. All right, so that's what you have there. Okay, on to the EQ controls. So they're pretty responsive. I made some slight adjustments, as you guys can see, and it seemed to make a pretty noticeable difference. Let's turn that gain up, and let's actually turn that depth back down a little bit. All right, so that sounds pretty good, just like that. Let's actually dial this mode back to the Marshall side a little bit. To me, that's just a lot more mid-forward. It's more my style of tone right there. I think that sounds pretty good. Yeah, I don't really think that we need to mess with too much as is. It sounds decent like that. The pickups in this guitar are kind of more mid-output. So with no boost and with the gain dialed up fairly high, we still have a pretty tight and saturated tone. But it's a little kind of like goofy in the mids, like almost kind of can't, like there's a little bit of quackiness, I guess. So I think that dialing the treble down like that, and maybe getting a tad more presence on the top end will help us out. Overall, I think that sounds a little bit better in my opinion. If you were gonna tune down a little bit more, I would say the treble would be your friend because it almost seems to accentuate some of those upper mid frequencies, some of that like clanky type midsection that you might want if you're doing the real downtune thing or the genty thing. This thing seems plenty tight on its own. Let's go back. Let's turn the tube screamer on. Let's turn that gain back down. All right, so now we can definitely turn that depth and that bass up because it seems like that thinned it out quite a bit, and turn the presence down. All right, so now we kind of have like a little bit of a low mid hollowness thing going on. Let's pull that depth back a little bit. So that mode makes a big difference too. It really scoops a lot of the mids and some of the presence and treble out too. So let's turn the mids and the treble up. Okay, I'm gonna turn it back right about the middle. There still seems to be a little bit of hollowness in the low end that doesn't sound natural to me. But overall, I think the tone sounds pretty good. You could probably EQ that out in post if you were using this to actually track something. So in here, these folders will not be here. These are my own IRs because I was trying some different IRs out with it. That was loaded up with the stock Blacksun 412. So let's see what it sounds like when we throw something like a 57 balanced and a 421 is a pretty common mic combo. All right, so that takes away a lot of that low and mid thing that I was talking about. It must have just been the mic combination. So let's try a 121 balance. All right, so that's not bad. Let's do the 57 chubby since that was sounding a little thin. All right, that's not my favorite. We're lacking some low frequencies. Really lacking some lows. There might be a phase issue between those two mics. Let's try something else. 67. That's not bad. That's a good blend. All right, so that sounds like a decent balance to me. Let's move on. There, like I said, you've got all sorts of different controls to really kind of shape that a little bit more, but I'm not gonna mess with that too much. Let's go over to the effects. Here you've got your rack effects. Let's actually bump this in. Let's add a little bit of like 125 and 250 to fatten up that low and low mid. That adds a little bit of fullness that it definitely seems to need. Let's add a little bit more on that 125 to give it some more punch. All right, so let's go over here in the mid frequencies. I think it's got like a little bit too much 4K maybe. All right. That definitely rounds those mids out a little bit more, adding some 2K, pulling some 4K. It pulls some of that spikiness out, just the way that we have it set right now. Okay, so that sounds pretty good for more of the like... We're actually gonna pull out, let's go back to the amp real quick because I'm getting some annoying frequencies. Let's dial that treble back down. All right, so much like a real Blackstar, the high end on this amp is a little tough to dial in to make it not sound harsh. But yeah, having that graphic EQ, let's turn it off. All right, and turn it on. It just kind of widens it out a little bit, adding in those lower frequencies and that 2K mid spike that just kind of helps add to where the amp seems to be lacking in the mids a little bit. So that's nice. Here we got the chorus. All right, so that sounds pretty insane, honestly. That sounds huge. All right, so the reverb's cool, but yeah, we don't really mess with that much here at Belligerent Amateur Studios, so let's turn that off. We're gonna try something new. I'm gonna load in one of my band's tracks where the guitars have been removed, and I'm gonna try and record a little bit of this plugin over top of the song. Let's see how it goes. Okay, you guys get the idea. Hope that you found this helpful. How did you think that this plugin sounded? Right now, it is free. If you go to Audio Assault's website, you can download this thing for free, no cost to you. You'll get future updates and stuff like that. But I believe that it's only free until sometime in December. So now is the time to grab it. Again, head over to Audio Assault's website. I'll put the link down below in the description. You should also join their Facebook user group because they're always giving away free IR packs with their partners. And it's just a great community over there where people are always helping people out with the Audio Assault plugins, figuring out how to use them, troubleshooting, everything. So do yourself a favor, go get yourself a free plugin and do some riffing. Again, guys, if you liked the video, please hit the like button on the way out and consider subscribing to the channel. Down in the description of this video are all of my support links, including my Amazon affiliate link and my Patreon, which both massively help me out. There are also links to my Discord server and my Facebook group. Consider being part of the Belligerent Amateur community. I would love to have you guys around. Kyle here again. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye!